Hey guys! Welcome to Sophie Rants About Social Media episode 2. Just kidding, I'm not gonna rant about social media. For real though, thank you so much to all of you for the awesome response on my last video. I got a lot of emails and questions asking me to dive a bit deeper into the likes versus follows, as well as to cover a buttload of other topics, including reach, which is what we're gonna talk about today. What does reach mean? How does it work? Reach versus impressions. What are they? What are the things? So today we're just gonna hit on those at their basic essence. Reach is the number of individuals who have seen your post. So if I see your post, whether I see it once or 10 times over 10 days, I only count as one. I was reached once. Whereas impressions remove the individual and it's just the total number of clicks and views and lands that content has. So if I view your content 10 times over 10 days, I am 10. I count for 10 impressions. Most platforms say that their algorithms only allow you to count for 1 impression a day. So I couldn't go back to your post 10 times in one day and be 10 impressions. However, that doesn't always seem to be the case. We did some tests on Instagram stories specifically. While you only count as one view, like when your name pops up, when you swipe it up to see all the names of the people who have looked at your content, you can count as multiple impressions and swipe ups. A lot of influencers use this trick to buff their numbers for companies they're working for, as it also works with swipe ups. So if I leave a story, go back to it, swipe up, leave, go back to it, swipe up, I'm 2 swipe ups. That also goes towards your total number of impressions on Instagram. So how come I don't reach 100% of my audience with every post? They followed my work. They want to see it. Why isn't it in their feeds? A number of reasons. Let's get it out the way. The first reason, money, then ads. Back when pages were first a thing, you would hit pretty much 100%. The algorithms were what they were. If 100 people followed you, 100 people saw your content. It's important to note that there weren't as many people utilizing pages and social media also, but that's for the next part. As Facebook saw how powerful these pages were becoming, they thought to themselves, but what if we could get them to pay to reach their whole ass audience? And then they tested it and people paid. People bought ads. People got marketing budgets together, whether it was individuals or companies. People were very quick to be like, okay, yeah, I'll pay, because the ad structure used to be very impactful, whereas now, that's another video as well, you don't get as much bang for your buck. I digress. So Facebook made money off the experiment. Facebook loves money. Other social media platforms saw how well that worked for them, how much money they made, and that people went for it, which doesn't seem like a lot, because it's not. But it is what it is, and we have to learn to evolve with that. One of the things I see a lot on social media is, well, she has 200,000 followers, but that post she put up only got 150 likes. So she bought all of those followers. No, she probably didn't. This is a myth we have to bust. There's a number of reasons that different pages get different reach, right? So you do see those pages that have hundreds of thousands of followers and their like count is in 20 or 50,000 likes. For a minute, let's think about how those pages still likely have 300,000, 400,000 followers, and then they have, that's still just a small percentage of their following as a whole. It's important to look at those type of pages and apply that to everyone, right? It's important to not just see the big number on the post and not pay attention to the following the pages have when we see those numbers, because it's easy to think well, they're reaching everyone. No, they're not. We do see unicorn pages. So a unicorn page is a page that reaches 50+% of their total following. This totally does happen. It's magical and I'm super jealous, but the percentage of time this happens is so small. The rest of us are rocking 4 to 10%, unless you pay, and then maybe you'll get 15 or 20%. Obviously, there are other things that enhance your reach. How often is it getting shared, especially to Messenger? That's a really big thing on social right now. Are people tagging their friends in it and getting them to come look at it too? There's a number of different things that can build up that reach. Again, we'll talk about good and bad practices in another video, and we'll get a little bit deeper into how you can build up your organic reach so that it is beyond that 4 to 10% or sitting higher within that bracket. Outside of Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are the same thing. Reach on Instagram has been abysmal for most people. And a lot of those pages you're seeing that are getting fantastic reach and absolutely killing it, you're like, whoa, how? engagement pods. They have a group of friends or a group of community members, fellow creators in a group chat, maybe not on Instagram, maybe somewhere else, but they have a group chat where they can direct their friends like, hey, I posted, hey, this post just went out, and their friends will go to it and comment on it and like it. They're building engagement. Engagement builds reach better than anything else. Genuine engagement builds your reach. Engage with your followers, comment back, build community. It's so important. I feel very strongly about that. That's another video as well, because I could talk for like 2 hours on that. TLDR, Instagram is the same. Reach is abysmal for 98%. I made that statistic up. A lot of these pages are experiencing low reach. Twitter as well. Twitter's heavily based on like retweets. Like retweets are very important for getting your Twitter content out there. Obviously hashtags are important for reach on Instagram, although they're not nearly as impactful as they used to be. Hashtag usage is a big discussion among the community, and while like different things work at different times because the algorithms are always changing, it is a good practice to really switch up your hashtags to avoid being marked as spam. That'll help you avoid those shadow bans that don't exist. Instagram. So why do reach and impressions like even matter outside of reaching your audience? Another question I get asked is, why do we even get to see reach and impressions? Like, what's the point? Because it causes a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, especially people who think it's like personal. Like, people aren't looking at my content because they hate me, when really the algorithm just isn't showing it to more than 4% of your audience. So why do we see these numbers, these anxiety-inducing numbers? For business reasons. So if you are making money off of your brand, if you are working as an influencer or whatever it may be, those impressions can be incredibly valuable. A lot of companies and even some conventions now are more interested in what your impressions are than what your total following is. That's indicative of who's looking at your content overall. And although your reach seems low because it's 1 per person, your impressions are likely much higher than you think they are. Because usually when your post does land in a feed, it lands in it more than once. So for that reason, impressions have just become very valuable to companies buying space on feeds or working with influencers. Because on Instagram, I have 56.6 thousand followers. My average reach is like 10% if I'm lucky, because my engagement is high. So every time someone comes back to comment on my post or reply to a reply I've sent to them, they're a new impression usually. That paired with like my stories, any story shares, builds my impressions to roughly 250,000 a month on Instagram alone. That is a far more powerful number for the companies I work with than my 56.6 thousand followers. Because now they can tell in real time that people are looking at my content. Maybe they don't always engage. Not everyone on social media does. My husband has every social media platform. He uses none of them. Like, he opens them up and he scrolls through them, but he doesn't click like. He'll be like, hey, look, this is funny, or oh, look what our friends are doing. But he doesn't engage. He's just not that type of person. That's not what he's into. That's not his thing. There's so many people out there looking at your content and not engaging. Now, of course, the goal is always to entice them to engage, but some people just won't, and that's okay. So that is why, again, those impressions become incredibly valuable. If you have a media kit, or you are reaching out to companies or being reached out to by companies, whatever the case may be, in your media kit, I recommend including your impressions in your reach. If you check your reach and impressions and say your following is 10,000, but your reach each month is like 500, something lower, not higher, then it's time to take a look at your content. And that's when we get into the good and bad behaviors. The likely cause for this usually is disengaging content, like a lot of text in the image, because that tells social media that you might be advertising something and money. Boost a post. This looks engaging. You'll get more engagement if you boost. Spend $10 to boost this post. We'll give you a $5 credit if you spend $20. It's the nature of the game, guys. You gotta evolve with it, you gotta be ready for it, and I am happy to help in any way that I can with the information that I have. Let's keep in mind that all social media information is 8 of 10. So it'll be right 8 times out of 10, just because of how quickly the algorithms move and just because of all the functions of these algorithms in general. So TLDR, reach is the individual, I'm reach. My views are impressions. If this helped, I tried to keep this one short and sweet because I didn't want to get it all convoluted with all of the good behaviors and bad behaviors and blah blah blah. That needs to be its own discussion entirely. At the end of the day, the message I would like for us to end on is, you are not your numbers. Reach is important, impressions are important, these things are important building a business for sure. But 9 times out of 10, your personality and your work will outshine those numbers. That's why we're seeing the rise of micro-influencers now. Companies are looking at influencers in the follower count of 1,000 to 20,000, whereas before, those were completely overlooked. But when your audience is within those numbers, it's likely that they're a bit more close-knit. Their message or their product, whatever it may be, is going to reach more people. So, you're not your numbers. I understand that anxiety so deeply. I also understand that it is hard to separate yourself sometimes. That's just the nature of the game. But we just have to try hard to remember that we're not our numbers, and I'll say it again, we're not our numbers. And our self-worth should never be attached to that. We should do the best we can to make our social media and our brands look clean and cool and be enticing for the new followers to come in and fall in love with. But if that's not happening at the pace you'd like, that's okay. Social media, be wild right now. As long as you're passionate about what you're doing, that will shine through. It's also a roller coaster. So even if you're having a really dope couple of weeks where it's like, my reach is high, my engagement is high, I'm killing it right now, the coaster's gonna come down. You're gonna have a bad week or two. That's just the nature of social media. Go stalk some of your favorite creators of all different audience sizes posts. Go back through a few weeks or even a few months, and you'll notice that this is just a trend across the board. You'll notice accounts with 500,000 followers with some posts that only have 1,000 or 2,000 likes. We're all experiencing this. We're all in this social media cluster together. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what other social media topics you'd like for me to hit on. My Soren build blog will be up soon because I finished it last night. So excited. This week we start on Pain and Vex. Pain is going to be in partnership with Con Artist Magazine. They're amazing. Go check them out. Con Artist Cosplay Magazine. Sorry. If you haven't taken a look at them yet, that means you haven't seen my giveaway on Facebook. But the reach for that if you want, because I hit 100,000 followers. I'm nearly at 130,000, and the reach on that is 400 people. Why? Because it's full of text, graphics, and images, and Facebook went, that's an ad. They'll boost that. So on that note, head over to my Facebook page. I am doing a huge 100,000 giveaway sponsored by Con Artist Cosplay Magazine. We're giving away a signed prop, you know, my Herod helmet. Signed prop, giving it away. A SKS HD foam kit, Kamui's Cosplay for Beginners book, Cowbutt Crunchy's Extreme Wig Styling book, which is amazing, exclusive print of my Vigar, and a subscription to Con Artist's Cosplay Magazine. You get 1 entry for sharing, 1 for telling me why you want to win in the comments, and 1 for tagging a buddy or 2. You get ×2 entries if you kickstart Con Artist Magazine. So they have about 6 days left to get that magazine fully kickstarted. You guys may have seen Yaya Han discussing it as well on her social media. You can enter up to 6 times. So all those prizes I just said was for grand prize. 2 runner-up winners will get the Kamui Cosplay for Beginners book and the exclusive Vigar print. Go check that out. Go share it with your buds. Go check that out. Go share it with your cosplay buds. Not only because I'm giving away cool things, but I could use that reach. Thank you for being here, friends. Let me know what you want me to talk about the socials in the comments below. I already said that, but I'm saying it again because do the thing. The next one will be good behaviors versus bad behaviors. Soren blog coming up, as well as some other cool stuff. April Glory and I will be recording the next episode of Hot Glue and Bobby Pins tomorrow, I think. Sometime this week. We're gonna do it over the interwebs because stay home. I want to go back to conventions. And I can't go back to conventions until everyone stays home and kills this virus. Subscribe, click the bell, go check out my social medias. Follow me on Twitch. I've been streaming at least twice a week. Getting there with the consistency, guys. I'm working on it. Guys, stay healthy. Goodbye. Oops, almost forgot. Quick shout out and thank you to Weeb Shirts for this awesome sweater that I am so comfy on this rainy day in Kansas. And thanks to Amish Andy for getting them sent to me. Yeah, I got lots of cute stuff. I'll be showing you guys soon. But thanks, Weeb Shirts.